Easter. Haven't been live for a minute. So yesterday I did a live in my kitchen to say thank you to everyone who has been voting daily to support me in the Yoga Warrior competition. I am back in first place, so thank you. I appreciate you. I am on my drive to my dad's house right now. I'm going to help him put in some new paneling on the storage barn because, unfortunately, Tough Shed isn't the best quality. The material that they use is like this, kind of like a pressed cardboard. It disintegrated, and it was probably just over 10 years or so old. There were some people that broke into the house, and we didn't know that they broke into the barn too, but they ripped up the siding. How crazy is that? They were clearly looking for something in particular. But anyway, so Easter is all about rebirth. It's all about resurrection. How many of you out there have been going through major life changes and dealing with these emotions, trepidations of, whoa, something's around the corner, like melancholy, the fear? Change is like death, and you have to honor the death of the old to let in and welcome the new. You can't just go from one to the other. You have to honor the stages of death, which comes with mourning. It comes with this sense of loss. Death is it's not a very easy subject for many people, and most people don't equate change to death, but change is a form of death. It's a mini death. Maybe a major life change. That's a major life change. Major life changes are like a major death in your life. So when something goes away, something major in your life changes, you have to honor the process. You have to mourn the loss of the old. You have to recognize that something is going away, and that's creating a void. That's creating a space. And in order to allow something into that space, you have to prepare it. You have to sit with it, lean into it, honor every emotion that arises, and also thank it and celebrate, because there's pain in death, there's pain in change, there's this transformation, this metamorphosis of the mind, body, and soul. You can't just, oh, it's no big deal, I'm good. You know what? The suppression of your emotions just make it that much worse. And believe it or not, the longer you suppress, the longer it lingers, and it will follow you to the next one. Because when we go through major life changes, it actually reawakens the changes we've had in our past before. So when we go through trauma, we experience in a trigger, an emotion, it actually reawakens all of the old triggers and emotions and traumas in our lives. So we're not just experiencing the trigger and the trauma in the moment, we're actually reawakening all the triggers and all the traumas that we've ever experienced in our entire life in that moment, at that time. So when you see someone who gets viscerally, they are triggered and they are in their shit, observe them, because they're not just going through that experience in that moment. It's like the sleeping giant. It's been reawakened, and they are experiencing every trauma they've ever had in that moment, at that time. And when you recognize that in yourself and in others, you can have a lot more compassion around it. Create the space and the honoring to serve it. Lean into it. Don't dismiss it, because it will come right back at you. Because again, every time we reawaken the sleeping giant, he ain't too happy. When you're sleeping giant, your trauma is not wanting to be disturbed, it will come back with force, especially if you've been suppressing and ignoring it. But see, that's the beauty of triggers, because triggers are opportunities to heal those old traumas and old wounds, those pains, because they're coming to surface for a reason. They're not just coming to surface to bother you or to create a problem in your life. No, in fact, they're serving you up an opportunity to heal it. But you have to be willing to feel it. So we have to feel it fully in order to heal it fully. You can't just dismiss anything and act like it doesn't matter, because everything that's in form that we're attached to is created and manifested into matter. So if you give it attention, any form of attention, even if it's in ignoring, unconscious, it's there, but you're not giving it the momentary attention, you have created it. You have created the matter. So they'll say, if you don't mind, it doesn't matter. Well, of course not, because then it no longer is a part of your manifestation. And the mind creates matter. So if you have an attachment to something, you make it matter. You make it into form. It's simple science, and it's also it's spiritual and science meeting each other. The philosophy of life, that what you make matter is because you're attached to something. So yes, of course, if you mind, it will matter, and it will take form, physical form, and it will haunt you. Good, bad, and ugly. Ooh, an eagle on top. Ooh, beautiful sights and sounds on this Easter day, Easter Sunday. So what in your life matters to you? What are you attached to? What are you creating in form? Or what are you going through that you are resisting and it's persisting? Because again, we're going through a major rebirth of this entire planet. Every single person is going through something, and there is nobody who is being spared right now. Because again, change is constant anyway. Life is constant change. From moment to moment, something dies and something is born. Something is transformed. It's going through the stages of life. You know, the conception, the birthing, the giving birth of, the transformation and the evolution as we grow and evolve, and then we die, and our bodies even turn into something that is useful for something else. So there's always some building blocks off of the old to the new and the new to the old. It's constant regeneration and metamorphosis, and it's all beautiful. Like, life is such a gift, a blessing, but we're not always tuned into it. And the reason being is because when you have pain, most often because we've been trained, we're not supposed to feel pain. So we shouldn't feel pain. So we don't want to feel pain. So we reject the pain, seeking pleasure. But when you reject the pain, you're actually rejecting yourself and your own pleasure. When you dismiss pain or you try to numb it out, you're also numbing out the pleasure. You can't numb the pain without numbing the joy. This is the key to all addiction in life. You can think you can try to ignore your traumas and your past. But don't you know, and we all have experienced it, your past always comes back to haunt you. Why? Because it doesn't go away because you ignore it. In fact, it's more powerful because you're ignoring it. Because on an unconscious level, there is so much attention to the not wanting of it that you are attracting more of that. And then you wonder, why does this keep happening to me? Because you're not conscious of what it is you are suppressing, you're actually creating. So where attention goes, energy flows, and that's good and bad. So you can dismiss something and, you go out to eat. Here's my favorite example of how people don't even realize how their minds operate. Somebody will ask you, what would you like to eat? And they scan the menu and they're already in their mind of, well, I know I don't want this. So they use process of elimination to choose what it is they want. But the reality is, if you already know what you want, you don't even have to eliminate anything, right? So you really got to focus on, where does my pendulum swing when it comes to the things that I desire? Am I going through the list of what I don't want first? Or am I already laser beam focused in on what it is I do want? That's a huge key in learning about yourself. And so we need to tap into our body's wisdom through the 5 senses, because that's how we take in the data. And when we are really attuned to our senses and we notice the details, the little details, the minute details make up the big details in our mind. Our mind is an amazing tool. It is an amazing computer. It creates stories. It is there to observe and witness, but a lot of times it gets out of control. The mind will get you into trouble long before the heart will, because it's the heart that will never lead you astray, and the head that often gets in the way. So again, are you tuning into the senses? What you smell, what you taste, what you touch and feel and hear. I mean, all of this, what you see, it's all the data that feeds the mind. And then the mind brings up memories, creates stories, has emotions. See, a lot of times people think emotions are in the body, but they originate in the mind. The emotions are attached to experiences and traumas and pains, and they're triggered by the data that you take in through your 5 senses. So this is why it's so powerful that we meditate every day. If you're not taking just a few moments every day to tune into where your mindset is and what it is you're feeling and sensing, like what is coming up, because I know for myself, I may wake up and maybe something triggers me, and then I look in the mirror and go, this is what I'm feeling, and it moves through me a lot quicker, because emotions are energy in motion, and they're meant to stay in motion. But if you're unable to address them in the moment, they will linger longer. So looking in the mirror and just honoring, hey, this is where I'm at right now. I don't know why I'm feeling this. You can tap into your little inner child and just ask, hey, is there something you need to tell me? Do you need my attention or affection? What is going on? Where's the message in this? Because there's always a message. There's a message for you in every moment. It's just how willing are you to tap into it and tune into what it is it's trying to teach you and tell you. Because it's the body's wisdom that will give you all the answers you need. The head will just try to rationalize and intellectualize. It's a crazy, crazy world we live in. Mind matters. Heart over mind. We have to really tap into the heart more than the mind. My mind gets me into trouble sometimes. It used to get me in a lot more trouble than it does now. But the more I've tuned into the breath, when you slow down the breath, you can become more cognizant of your mind and the thoughts that it creates, the stories it comes up with. It's never... it's all there for you. You can see it as annoying. You can get frustrated with it, but it's your reaction that creates your experience, not what arises. It's how you respond to what it is that comes up within you. Because even if you don't like how you're feeling, that's up to you. You can choose to not feel it. Meaning, you can choose to honor it and go, wow, I don't really feel like feeling this, but okay, I'm here with it. Better late than never, or better sooner than later. Because the truth is, if you are willing to sit with it in that moment of time that you honor it, it moves through you so much quicker. Again, energy in motion. If you allow your emotions to keep moving and you honor them when they arise, they won't linger longer. They will goodbye. They'll pass in and then they'll pass by. It's a beautiful dance. And when we dance with it all, instead of try to fight with it, resist it, push it away, it plays with us like we can play with it. But our superpower truly is that we get to choose in every moment what it is we're going to experience. So even if you are choosing, and you're saying you don't want to feel a certain way, you are choosing it. You really are choosing it. And when you recognize that, that's a moment you have the opportunity to say, okay, if I'm choosing this, then I can choose something else, can't I? If I don't like it, okay, let me try something else. This is the beauty of life. You can always shift it. You can can go for a walk. You can go out in nature. You can turn on some music that uplifts you and inspires you. Pet a pet, a dog, a cat. Go out and listen to the birds singing, chirping. Listen to the wind as it ruffles the leaves on the trees and moves, and just feel the breeze. There's so much poetry in motion. Life is art. Everything is there for your divine pleasure. Even the pain is guiding you where you want to be. But when you're in resistance and ignorance to the fact that each step is for your evolution, then you lose the appreciation because you're not in gratitude for the fact that it's all for you. Not for anybody else. It's for you. So it's all about honoring your feelings. And when they arise, you can rise. It's a choice. You just need to be willing to step into it and speak up. So if you're tuning into this later, do me a favor and make sure to go to the Yoga Warrior website. Link is in my bio. And make sure to vote for me daily, every 24 hours. I'm still in first place for the top 5. And this week, they will choose the winner for the group, which will be me, because I believe in you believing in me. I honor and I appreciate your support. I know you're here to support me, just as I am for you. And so much love to you all on this Easter Sunday. Honor whatever arises. This is your time. This is your time to shine. You are being rebirthed. Resurrect yourself in the new. What is it you want to experience? Because again, you get to choose, and it's all for you. So much love. Lots of blessings. Mwah.